welcome everybody to official Canada's post-match press conference. We have Coach John Herdman here with us. Just a little reminder, we have the translation service in Spanish, English, and also in French, so feel free to ask in those three languages if you need it. So we can start now. Please, go ahead.
Felicidades, coach, por la victoria y por la clasificación de Canadá a la siguiente fase. Felicidades, coach, por la victoria y por clasificar a Canadá a la siguiente fase. Quería preguntarle, ¿sintió algún momento miedo de que Canadá no pudiera avanzar debido a los dos primeros resultados?
The translation's in French.
Okay. All right, I can do it.
Yeah, okay.
He asked you if you felt fear. If you felt fear at the game to not qualify to the quarterfinals and sometimes at the game. I mean,
yeah, I think you have to be humble coming into these matches. I think in CONCACAF, anything can happen. Anything can happen in games. You know, I thought Cuba have improved since we've seen them back in 2019. We played them and it was a different team. They've had more games. They're hardened. So we thought it was going to be tough, but the conditions, I mean, you've got to experience those conditions. You've got to play in them. You've got to breathe in them to understand that it's a different type of football. It's a different type of mentality. To play any team in those conditions, it's not easy. So I'm proud of the players. I think the humility was you have to go in there with the fear that you could be knocked out, but at the same time, you've got to be absolutely clear that, you know, on our day we can beat teams and we can beat them comfortably. And I thought today, you know, the players controlled it. We had a few lapses in concentration. I thought the first penalty was tough. The guys were sort of pushing for the third goal just to get the game finished, and you could see, you know, players were fatigued. As Ozo's turned, we couldn't get them runs against that high line, and he just got caught on the ball. So, I mean, those moments against the US, you're not going to see those. I mean, one, I think the climate will be different, and two, it's a different type of focus for that game.
okay, yes, go ahead.
Coach, first of all, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
I want to ask you first, just a couple of younger guys on the team. Obviously, Dane stepped into goal tonight,
Yeah.
and then Liam got his first international goal. Can you just talk a little bit about how you felt both of those two guys played?
Yeah, I was just so proud of Liam. I mean, like, I've known him since he was 18. We pulled him in to my first camp in March. I just remember his first game, he had a massive impact. And then he's had some moments where, you know, he could have scored, he maybe should have scored, and it just felt like it was never going to happen for him. And we chatted with him prior to the tournament, and yesterday I had a little catch-up with him about, you know, taking this moment. So, you know, to see him score, I'm like a proud dad, you know. It was a big moment. So happy. And he's getting fined off the lads for hugging us on the sideline, so he's in a bit of trouble there. And Dane, I mean, Dane's been patiently waiting. I feel for him because I thought the second penalty he got really close to. It was very close. But he didn't have much to do tonight. That save just after half-time, that was a big save for us again, just that lapse in concentration. You know, they caught us on the transition, little error. And there he comes up big. I mean, Cuba score there, and the El Salvadorian crowd was starting to get behind Cuba, and I was like, oh, here we go again. It could be a long night. But I don't think it was in doubt tonight. I thought Canada, if we wanted to push that last 30 minutes to get more goals, we could have pushed, but we took our foot off the gas because we were watching the score in the other game, and we were pretty clear coming into this match, you know, which team we wanted to play and what game we wanted to experience in the Gold Cup. So the football gods have given us, I think, our derby match.
Okay, go ahead. One more.
And I think to that point, the easy storyline is the rematch with the U.S. Obviously, a lot of turnover on both rosters from the last time you guys saw each other. But how much do you take from that game? Excuse me. How much do you take from that previous matchup? And how much do you, I guess, apply that into this quarterfinal?
I think it would be very different, very different. I mean, I think they had nearly 200 million on that front line. You know, that's a lot to deal with when, you know, you're defending with about 13 million. So, I mean, there's differences here. You know, the preparation, I think they get 2 days extra than us, so they'll probably be able to sharpen up those set pieces, but we'll deal with that. And it's a lot of MLS matchups. I think the guys are excited. Like, we really wanted this game for the quarterfinals. You know, playing in the US is difficult. It's a home match for them. The final at the Nations League was a home match for them, and we haven't beaten them here since 1957. So, you know, we want to be that first team. We want to be that first coach, that first staff, and we want our fans to experience that moment. And I feel like this last 3 games, there's been a lot of adversity for Canada. It hasn't been easy. You know, we've played in really difficult conditions. We played an away match or a home match against Guatemala that was so intense. And we've managed to rotate our whole squad. We've had opportunities for guys to get their first caps for Canada. We've had young players step up and show that they can ask the right questions. So coming out of this, I feel like the group's tight, it's connected, and they're hungry. So a bit of growth, and there'll be a few days of preparation and some big recovery, but we're excited.
Okay, now we will take some questions from the media who have joined us virtually. Please, Elias Larati, go ahead.
Hey, John. Congratulations on the win and getting to advance the quarterfinals. You want to talk about the performance of a first-timer, Laturi, who came in to make first cap?
Yeah, I think Victor, he's been working hard behind the scenes. It's a big jump into international football, and you know, he's a product of our Canadian Premier League. He's moved across to Scotland and had his first season in Scotland, and you know, for us, he's in his second camp. He's in his second period with the men's national team. So we've watched him grow. We've watched him grow tactically. We've watched him grow. With the connection and team spirit with guys that he's never played with before. I think Vic coming in, he was in a bit of limbo land because, you know, coming into the pitch, we shifted into that 5-3-2 because we were watching the scoreline on the other channel. And, you know, the message when they came in was just to sort of manage the game now. We didn't need to score. And then, you know, Guadalupe scored, and then it went back on, and we could score more goals, so we turned it back up, and then it was turning it off again because Guatemala have scored, and then Guadalupe get a penalty. So it was just a strange 20 minutes because I've never experienced that. Normally we're just pushing to score 5, 6, 7 goals, whatever we can. But we were pretty clear coming into the match which game we wanted and where we wanted to go next. So, you know, well done to the lads. They just managed themselves through the game.
Last question from Abdul Hamid Ibrahim. Please go ahead.
Hey, John, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm good.
I wanted to ask you how much this type of performance gives you confidence in your team's ability going forward against the U.S.?
I think it's just been a collective evolution over 3 matches. I think when you experience, you know, we had a home match up in Toronto. Although we were in control of that game, it was a game you're 2-1 up in the 93rd minute set piece, and you know, we had to pick the lads up after that game. Like we all expected 3 points at home coming out of that match. That was tough. It was a tough turnaround. And then when we got to the heat of Houston, you know, it's just different. It really is. It's like asking your guys to play in a sauna, and you know, you have to adapt tactically. You have to adapt the rotations of players, and I think that hostile environments just give them that taste of what they're going to face in Cincinnati. So, you know, we got those experiences, and then tonight it was like do or die. Like, there's high pressure, high stakes in this moment for these players. Their tournament was, you know, hanging by a game. So they came into this knowing we have to win, or you're going home. So I think we've experienced everything here. It's been good for us, and that's what we came to do. Rotate the squad, give minutes to guys, test them, let them experience what this whole CONCACAF thing is. And it's not easy for those that's sitting on the outside and point fingers and criticize. It's a tough environment to get results. And I think, you know, with the squad that we've had, they've grown over 3 games, and I think there's a foundation to go into this game against the US. I think we're going in as underdogs as normal, but you know, anything can happen in tournament football, and you know, for us, we'll push to take that opportunity to be that first team.
Okay, with this last question, we have concluded the official Canada's press conference.
Thank
Thank you
you
very much, Coach
Thank
Herdman. Thank you very much, everybody.